Y'all already know what time it is. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I am your host, Marcus Aurelius. This is Eloquently Petty. And this cigar time. It is most certainly on. Gather round, gather round. Hitherfore art thou, whither thou hither with. What's good, people? Dre, what's going on, brother? So, as the title suggests, we are here to discuss a few things. We're going to talk about, the new Black Panther actor. What's going on, man? Shout out to y'all, man. Adric, Andre, Detro, Lucy. How you doing, Lucy? Let me bless Lucy. We're gonna talk about Nolan Wells some more. Might even touch on Andrew Tate. I got a video queued up. Click the like as you walk in. Click like. Hit that like button. Do me that favor as you walk in. Five people, 4 likes. Okay, now I got 5 and 5. Thank you. Thank you for those likes. They're free. I am not monetized yet. So right now we are free. I will be reading your super chats. Well, they're not super chats. I will be reading your comments. If they grab my attention, I will be reading your comments. We got 8 people and 5 likes. Let me get 3 more likes, please. I am peddling for likes. I need those likes. YouTube needs those likes. They are free. They cost you nothing. They cost you nothing. Dre, what's good? What's good, bro? Dre J, what's up? What's good, bro? All right. So we can start right now. It's a weekday. It's a weekday. I'm sure by now. How many of y'all seen the new actor for Black Panther? By a show of ones, type 1 in the chat if you've seen the new actor for Black Panther. I'm gonna start a poll in the chat because I want you guys to vote on the new Black Panther actor. I want y'all to vote on him, right? So I'm gonna start a poll in the chat. Let's have some fun, man. All right, let's start a poll. So, typical yes or no poll. All right, I'm going to enter it now. Going to give you guys 3 choices. Is the actor good enough to be Black Panther? It's a yes, a no, and a we'll see. Okay. A yes, a no, and a we'll see. Okay. Want to see how this goes. Hit my poll, y'all. Jump up in my poll. Pause. Okay. What's going on? Hey, Keena, what's up? Keena, I put a poll in the chat. Is the new actor good enough to be Black Panther? I want to see what you guys think of that. Nobody said no. Nobody said no. 14% yes, and 86% said we'll see. Y'all giving the kid a chance. Now, off rip, I'll be honest, not feeling him. If he amazes me later, it remains to be seen. But off rip, nah. I wanted my man Damson Idris. That's who I wanted. I wanted Franklin Saint to be Black Panther. Thank you, B. What's going on? I wanted my man to be Panther. That's who I wanted. And if he can't be Panther, make him Kang the Conqueror or something, man. Put him in the universe. Say it got to be better than BP2 or the Woman King, but I would have preferred Damson instead. Yeah. Said once Chadwick Boseman died and they changed plot with Shuri and the character, had a son, I lost faith in the Black Panther franchise. Same here. All right. David Johnson role in in Aliens, Romulus was damn near perfect. Now I'm gonna tell you, I never seen this kid before. So y'all know more about him than I do. So this is what we're gonna do. Gonna watch a little clip. I think this is the press conference where this is a Coogler choice. Ryan Coogler chose this kid for the role himself, right? So he pushed for him. But let's see what's good with it. Let's go right to it. All right. Gonna need some sound on that joint. I
want you guys to give a warm welcome to our new Black Panther, Mr. David Johnson.
I want to say thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you to this amazing family that I have the honor and the privilege and the blessing to join.
Just this way, if you could, just guys this way. And then just back straight ahead. And yeah, that's it. Straight ahead.
Could I just? It's early days. We hard at work. But our film has a date. It's coming out December 18th, 2028. December 15th, my bad.
All right. So that's the kid right there. It's a little guy. He's a little guy. I ain't got nothing against little guys, but this is what I'm gonna say, right? So let's start off by saying this. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people react to this like on some, he's a British actor, et cetera, et cetera. Let's do remember a couple things. Now, I am all for people with the issue of British blacks or Africans or whatever playing historically Black American people, like our freedom fighters and things of that nature. I ride with that. I have my own issues with it. By the way, how do I sound coming through? Because I know the last couple of videos, the sound been coming through kind of hot. So let me know if it's kind of hot so I can adjust this mic as I'm talking to y'all, right? So he's a British kid playing an African character. Let's remember, this is not a Black American character. It's T'Challa. Okay? It's not a Black American character in his origin story. He's African. So, to be honest, that argument doesn't hold up here. It doesn't hold up here. If he's an African Brit, then it makes sense. Then it makes sense. This guy's not Martin Luther King, not playing Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, one of these guys, you know. He's playing an African. Now, will he be convincing? That's what I'm worried about. All right? That's what I'm worried about. I don't care about him being Brit. Not for this. Not this time. This time I don't care. Because the character is not a Black American character. It's not, you know, one of our historic people. So it doesn't matter. I'm not even going to touch on the fact that it's a fictional character. But, I mean, because how about this? Let's say Black Panther was American in the comics. Fictional or not, I would have an issue with it. Okay? I'd have an issue with it. But it's not. It's African. The kid might be African. Damson, Brit, but he's African. Okay? It's consistent. It makes sense. Leave that one alone. Leave it alone. But we'll see. So they got another video here. Black Americans are not happy with the casting. And I think this kind of goes into the same vein of you know, let's see what this guy has to say. This kind of falls into, I guess, the same lane of what I'm talking about. So let's hear what this guy has to say. All right. Let's see what he's talking about. Hold on. Oh, did I lose my screen? Yep, I did. Let's go.
This announcement is actually causing quite an issue amongst Black people across the diaspora.
Sure.
Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con last night, Ryan Coogler announced who will be our new Black Panther in Black Panther 3.
And like Kevin likes to say, there is one more thing. I want you guys to give a warm welcome to our new Black Panther, Mr. David Johnson.
If you're familiar with the stories for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is going to follow T'Challa's son. So we all know T'Challa ended up having a young son. The third film will be the son coming of age. David Johnson is going to be the new lead for Black Panther 3. He's going to be our next Black Panther. We know that it was originally Chadwick Boseman, who unfortunately passed away of colon cancer.
Okay, so I've always had an issue with this. We had Black Panther for like 5 minutes. Then we didn't have him. Then we had him again. Then we lost him again. Black Panther like died 3 times in the MCU. 3 times. So, oh, wait. Somebody said Kendrick Lamar should have been Black Panther. Y'all crazy, man. If you think about this, T'Challa died 3 times in the MCU. 3 times. He died in his own movie. Yeah, he was dead when Killmonger threw him over the. Yeah, he was dead. They brought him back. They killed him. He died in Black Panther. They brought him back with the herbs or whatever that shit was, They brought him back. Then he died again in Infinity War. Right? Then, hey, Cap on your left. Comes back. Then he gets killed again. But this time you don't see him die. They killed his character 3 times. Right? They killed his character 3 times. And we go from Legacy Black Panther to his sister, which was a Reginald Hudlin reboot, to now his son. We got Legacy T'Challa for 5 minutes. Yeah, he was. Adric said Black Panther wasn't killed in Infinity War. You ain't see him turn to dust? You don't remember that? Yeah. Outspoken was good. Yeah. You said remember the wizard. Put me on. I saw that motherfucker turn to dust. He turned to Thanos dust. He was half of the motherfuckers that died. This good old-fashioned cigar. There ain't no weed in this shit. That motherfucker turned to Thanos dust. Okay? I seen it. Now, Adric, if you got something to put me on too, I'm not debating you. Put me on. I'm just saying, nigga died 3 times. They killed this nigga 3 times. Who's seen Wakanda Forever? Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever was garbage. Oh my God, that shit was garbage. If you have not seen Wakanda Forever, never, ever, 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 ever watch that shit. I wouldn't be a friend. I wouldn't be a friend if I told you to go watch that shit. Friends don't let friends go watch Wakanda Forever. I'm your friend. Yo, good looking out. Yeah. Don't watch that shit. Don't watch that shit. I tell you go watch Pootie Tang before I tell you to go watch Wakanda Forever. I'm the homie. Don't go watch Wakanda Forever. That shit is some long, dramatic, sad funeral. Yo, how many funerals in Wakanda Forever? Okay? So, you know what? Just lightly, then we'll move on. I promise. We'll move on. Let's talk about Wakanda Forever for a second. Shit was trash. Okay? By show of ones, I want to see all my comic book people. Because I know some people just watch these movies like, ooh, that was a good movie. Because they don't know what would like, oh, wait, hold on. That shit don't track. That shit ain't canon. By show of ones, where my comic book Negroes at? Hey, check it out. Outspoken, check this out. I tried to watch Pootie Tang twice. Yo, I swear to God, I really tried, bro. I really tried. Yo, bro, I swear to God on me, I really tried to watch Pootie Tang twice. I watched it. I was like, nah, turn this shit off. I can't do it. Years later, because everybody like, yo, that shit is a classic. I said, all right, man. I'm gonna try this shit one more fucking time. I'm gonna give Homeboy a chance, man. I tried to watch that shit. And that nigga start talking that babble. I'm like, yo, nah, I can't do it, man. I can't get through it, man. I can't do it, man. Yo, you have to strap me down to something to watch that movie, man. Yo, it ain't that many, yo, bro. It ain't that many movies I can't make it through. That's on the list. Yo, I really tried to watch it. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna sit through it. Yo, I made it maybe a little further the second go round. I couldn't do it. I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Yo, I can't do it. Turn this shit off. Turn this shit off, man. I just might be one of them, you know, too intellectual ass niggas. I can't do it. Tippy tie with the whippy whibbies. I can't do it, man. Sadate and shit. I can't do that shit, man. You know how you watch the Smurfs and they say Smurf a lot and you can kind of get what they saying anyway? Or like you listen to Crip Mac say 5 a million times and you still understand what he's saying? Y'all niggas know what Pootie Tang's saying? Yo, type ones if you know what Pootie Tang is saying, because I didn't get it. Yo, I swear to God, I didn't get it. I didn't get it, yo. I need an interpreter. I need a Pootie Tang interpreter, yo. Y'all got it? Y'all got what he was saying? Scimitar with the hubba, yeah. No, get that shit out of here. I can't do it. Anyway, moving right along. Moving right along, yo. I can't do it. I can't do it. Maybe that's one of them shit. I don't smoke. Maybe you got to be high to watch this shit. I don't know. I don't smoke. This ain't weed. This is pure cigar. And I puff it. I can't do it, man. Anyway. Wakanda forever. My comic book niggas. First of all, who the fuck is Shuri? Who the fuck is Shuri? Shuri is a sister, a little sister that Reginald Hudlin, the director of House Party and Boomerang, made up. He said the reason he created Shuri because he wanted to give his daughter somebody that she could dress like in the comics. Nice girl dad shit, but you know, you fucking our shit up. She's not a legacy character at all. For those who don't know. Keena, that's a fact. That's a fact. For those who don't know, he created her in a reboot. Like he had his own like storyline and he created Shuri out of nowhere. Black Panther ain't had no fucking sister. Black Panther, hey, Keena, listen to me. And let these niggas tell you. Black Panther supposed to be smarter and stronger than all them Avenger niggas, man. He's a genius. Black T'Challa is a genius. He don't got people. He ain't got Q, her little sister, making his outfits and she making the vibranium weapons and all. No. That's him. He's doing all that. He's doing all that. T'Challa's intelligence is up there with Iron Man and the Hulk and all of them dudes. Reed Richards and shit. Well, Reed Richards, smart motherfucker. But I'm just saying. He's a genius. Genius level IQ. Not, I froze. I never freeze. When I seen that goofy shit, yo, everybody was hyped when they saw Black Panther in Civil War. Russo brothers, Civil War, Black Panther. My man tried to introduce himself. Hi, my name is. T'Challa was like, I don't care. That's Black Panther. That's Black Panther. T'Challa was not playing in Civil War. It wasn't no goofy shit in Civil War. It was dead serious shit. Then the movie comes out and he's goofy. Then he gets thrown over the mountain and shit. It's like, yo, what is this? This dude is weak. Dude shows right up. This your king? Do that nigga over there. Huh? In the comics, Black Panther not to be fucked with. Now, Namor is his nemesis. Namor is not to be fucked with. Shuri been Black Panther 5 minutes. Y'all gonna put her up against the Submariner? The Submariner? That bitch supposed to be dead. She supposed to be dead. He supposed to kill her. Supposed to kill her. She supposed to drown like a motherfucker. Y'all with me? We talking comic book shit today. Let me take this shit off. It's hot. Shit. I'm saying, yo, for real, you put Shuri up against the Submariner. Supposed to be dead. It was supposed to be T'Challa versus him. Now we never get to see the Storm T'Challa love story. What's your Storm gonna fuck with his son? Is that what's going? That's how it's going down? You gonna fuck with his son? They not. Come on, man. I never freeze. That shit trash, man. They fucked that shit up for us. So Ryan Coogler says is Disney's fault. So you said unpopular opinion. I'm not a fan of what Ryan Coogler and Disney did with the films. Nah, nobody is. Everybody who knows what Black Panther is supposed to be, nobody likes this shit. It was a cool movie to watch. It's nice that they made a film out of Black Panther. We never thought we was going to see a black superhero that level, and it did what it did and all of that shit. But the disappointment was you fucked the character up. What up, Mr. O? I ain't shout you out when you walked in the room. My bad, man. Mr. O is in the building. Yo, I'm just saying. So they fucked that up for us. They nerfed him. They made him a weakling and a cornball compared to who he really is. At any rate, so that's your new Black Panther. And yeah, so just to give you the plot of Wakanda Forever for those that will never see it. Okay. So what happens is, I think Shuri brings attention somehow. The humans come and they realize this in Atlantis. If somebody hears me getting this fucked up, tell me. right? But this is the way I remember it. I only watched the shit once. I ain't never seen that shit again. So now the humans know about Namor and Atlantis or whatever, so they starting to come in the water and fuck with them. And somehow Namor blames Wakanda for this. Right? So he threatens to destroy Wakanda if they don't destroy the humans. Huh? You know, Wakanda, the place with all the vibranium, they powerful and shit. You kill the humans and I'll kill you. Why would you, if you're more powerful than the Wakandans and they're more powerful than the humans, why don't you destroy the humans yourself? I didn't understand this. You need them to do it? That shit was the dumbest shit ever. That shit was the dumbest shit ever. I could see if they said, yo, we're going to destroy humanity, and if you get in our way, we're going to fuck you up. That would have made more sense. It was also a corny way for them to introduce Ironheart. Who's watched the Ironheart series? I have not. I'm sorry. It was a way for them to slide Ironheart up in there, you know. Latest of the girl power superheroes. When will Marvel and them learn? Girls don't watch superhero shit with girls. They watch superhero shit with guys. Every girl I know likes guy superheroes. Women like female superheroes just about as much as they like girl basketball players. Whoop. I'm just saying. The story goes, once upon a time, there was a company called Masters of the Universe, for those who are old enough to remember. And their star character was called He-Man. And He-Man was popping, and all the kids watched He-Man. All the kids loved He-Man. Oh, they watched He-Man. So they put out Mattel. Mattel put out He-Man toys, and all the kids went and bought He-Man toys. You get the He-Man, the Tiger, and the Orko, and the Gray Skull, and all this shit by the power of Gray Skull, and you know, Cringer, my fearless friend, and all of that type shit, right? Man at Arms and shit, right? So you know what happened? They got a bright idea. They said, hey, we should make a girl version of He-Man. If you're Gen X, you remember this. You were around for it. So they created She-Ra. Who remembers She-Ra? She-Ra. She-Ra. Remember She-Ra? She-Ra. So he came out with She-Ra. She had her own cartoon. She had her own movie. She ended up being this dude's sister somehow. Let me tell you what happened to you can watch it. They did a whole documentary on this. Let me tell you what happens to Masters of the Universe after this. So they create She-Ra. She-Ra start popping. They push He-Man to the left. Now let me tell you something. Ain't no little niggas buying no She-Ra toys. That ain't happening. They not doing it. Niggas moved to G.I. Joe and Transformers. That's what we did. Fuck that. Oh, shit. Cars turn into robots? That shit is fire. Let's fuck with that. So we said, fuck He-Man and She-Ra, Transformers. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. Fuck them, G.I. Joe. That's still some real nigga shit. Especially Cobra shit. We fuck with Cobra. Cobra toys was shit. G.I. Joe was nothing but army shit. I got me some Cobra shit. And the girls didn't support She-Ra. And Masters of the Universe went bankrupt. That's a true story. That's a true story. Now, you starting to see He-Man pop back up. I don't know who owns it now. Somebody bought that. Somebody bought it. I don't know. Maybe it's Disney. Somebody bought Masters of the Universe, but they went bankrupt. Okay? Behind She-Ra. Disney has not learned the lesson of Masters of the Universe. They ain't learned. Remember Hercules and Xena? Nobody learns, man. They don't learn. So, at any rate, Disney's losing a lot of money with this bullshit they doing. We're going to see what they do with this kid. We're going to see if he does his thing. I'm sure he's a great actor. I'm sure he's good. But I'm sure we're going to get more of the same bullshit that we've been getting from. I like Ryan when he's not doing Disney shit. Sinners was the shit. All his other shit was the shit. I like Ryan when he's not doing comic book shit. Okay? So, let's move right the fuck along. We don't do that here. So, yeah, we're going to move on from the T'Challa shit, man. We're very disappointed with Black Panther. Very disappointed. You know what I mean? Shit ended up being trash. Trash. All right. I want to play something just in case or not. Who got their speakers on? I hope y'all got your speakers on, man. I want to. I hope I don't get a strike for this shit. But I gotta play this shit, man. I don't know if y'all up on this shit. Okay, so Chad Hugo, this is some music shit. Chad Hugo dropped some shit. I posted on my Facebook page. But Chad Hugo from the Neptunes, he hardly does anything. You hardly see him or whatever the case may be. But he dropped some fire shit. And I'm going to play a little bit of it right now. Yo, now I always wanted to hear this kid's music without Pharrell. And now we got something. Here we go. This is called Jump Up When Ya or some shit like that. I like it. I like it. Beat is crazy. Let's go.
Jump up when you jump. Jump up when you. On the brink of a lake, about to hit me a truck.
Let me pause it before I get hit. So I'm gonna say this about Chad versus Pharrell. Chad is the Neptune sound. Chad is the Neptune sound. When you hear Pharrell, I think, like when I hear Pharrell, I think, you know, Allure and shit like that. Happy and shit like that. So Pharrell is like, he got like a pop sound. Right? Chad is closer to what Timbaland does. I want y'all to listen to these drums. Listen to these fucking drums on this shit, man.
Playing all 4 quarters just to keep it a buck. Got money on my mind, I don't toe the line. So don't make me take cause I don't mind on time. Spicy little thing, black pepper on the grind. The one they all watch, been ahead of my time. Hear me on your TV in sync like
That shit is fire, bro. That shit is crazy. The drums on this shit is bananas. And Chad has a collection of sounds that's ridiculous. Just like Timbo. Timbo saves up just random crazy sounds. This dude's catalog of sounds and old shit, yeah. It's not the normal shit, but again, it's that shit that they do.
Glance on my spotlight, but they never had a chance. Gangsters and the bourgeois make them all dance. Hypnotized minds, got them all in a trance. We bout to ride the jet set to France. Steps on the wire, I'ma need that advance. Risk and reward, I'ma always take a chance. Betting on myself is the way I enhance. When I touch the room, get them at first glance. Then I hit the road like I'm Ronnie Romance.
You hear the synth in the background? See, cause I fuck with music. I do music. The synth in the background is crazy. But them kicks, do you hear the kicks? Listen to the kick. Now, Indigo, tell me what's closer to that nerd sound when you split these guys up? These guys solo artists. What's closer to that nerd sound? Pharrell or Chad? And yo, I like Pharrell. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I like Pharrell. You know what I mean? But yo, this was the guy. Low key. Chad is the sound.
Jumping off the roof, no parachute. Here's for my number cause I'm very cute. I just might crack bandicoot. I came with some bags and they put it.
Hold on, let me bring that back. Listen to this drum pattern. There you go.
Jumping off the roof, no parachute. Here's for my number cause I'm very cute. I just might crash bandicoot. I came with some bags and they put it.
All right, enough of that. That shit is bananas. Y'all gotta listen to that. Matter of fact, find an instrumental on that. That shit is crazy. He's the sound. I'm convinced now. Finally heard some Chad shit. Motherfucker hardly drop shit. But yeah, he's the sound. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Nolan Wells. We got some new shit on Nolan Wells, man. This Nolan Wells shit. This shit, as we continue with this shit, it gets crazier and crazier. You know. Ah, man. It shit get crazier and crazier. Hold on, let me go to my history. Because I had 2 videos up for Nolan Wells. And let's see. Okay, so here we go, right? So we're going to go with this one first, right? So they're saying that Nolan Wells might have been strangled. So remember, the first person to do the autopsy kept some of his body parts. And everybody's telling me, well, it's normal to do that. But that's like removing shit from a crime scene. I said this before in previous streams. It's like removing shit from a crime scene, man. How am I to do a proper autopsy to prove cause of death if you're keeping vital shit? So let's check this video out. Let's check this video out, man. Cause there's something going on here. There's definitely something going on here. So let me pull that up. I want y'all to hear them talk. I want y'all to hear them speak. All right. So let me full screen that. Here we go.
Dr. Mitchell did not have a chance to examine. Dr. Mitchell did not have a chance to examine that part of Nolan Wells' anatomy. Why is that important? Because if somebody is strangled, especially manual strangulation, the injuries are going to be to the front of the neck. There may be some redness at the back of the neck as well if, injury comes from behind, but generally this part of the neck doesn't have the major blood vessels and the airway. It's the front of the neck that does. So compression or damage to the front of the airway, that's going to be found in the neck block that is still sitting at the medical examiner's office that was not released with the body.
Why do we believe an answer simply because it was given first? Why does the human mind stop asking questions the moment it hears an official conclusion? And what if the truth wasn't hidden by a lack of evidence, but by one piece of evidence almost nobody has fully understood? That's exactly why the latest update in Nolan Wells's case has so many people looking at this investigation differently. A forensic doctor has now raised a possibility that has reignited one of the biggest debates surrounding Nolan's death. The doctor believes the medical evidence points toward the possibility of manual strangulation, a conclusion that immediately raises an even bigger question. What made an experienced forensic expert question the official narrative? What was found, or perhaps more importantly, what couldn't be examined? Those questions don't just challenge one opinion, they challenge every people thought they already knew. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down the medical findings, the forensic science, and the overlooked details behind this latest development, step by step, piece by piece. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this doctor's conclusion has become one of the most talked about developments in the Nolan Wells investigation, and why the answer may not be where everyone has been looking. If you think this case deserves a closer look, hit that like button right now. And if you want case breakdowns that follow the evidence instead of the headlines, subscribe to Brian Notes and turn on notifications. We're just getting started, and what comes next gets darker. Now let's go back to the beginning. Because to understand what went wrong here, you need to understand what should have happened. A cause of death is not a guess. It's a conclusion, and conclusions come at the end, not the beginning. But in this case, that order was reversed before anyone had looked closely at the body. The sheriff in Jackson County, Mississippi, stood in front of cameras and announced no foul play. No autopsy had been done yet. No pathologist had weighed in, the investigation had barely started, and already the answer was delivered with certainty. Here's what most people don't know. When a body is pulled from water, investigators cannot immediately conclude drowning. In forensic pathology, drowning is what's called a diagnosis of exclusion. That phrase matters, so let's slow down. Water doesn't prove cause of death.
Right.
A person can drown, or a person can die first and then end up in water. The water looks the same either way. So the examiner cannot start with drowning as the answer. They have to work backward. They rule out everything else first.
So when this went down, the proper investigation wasn't had, because the immediate objective, in my opinion, was to protect these kids. Okay, so regardless of what happened, how it happened, or whatever, remember where we are. We in Mississippi here. Mississippi, MISSI. Okay, we're in Mississippi. So however this went down, which we're still trying to find out, however this went down, the first order of business was to protect these kids. All right, from any, prosecution, charges, whatever. Oh, it was an accident. He drowned. The end. Let's move on. And these parents was like, fuck that. We're going to get somebody else to look at this and see what's good. Okay? So this is not like the Carmelo Anthony case where it's like, okay, we had trust in the system, and then our son gets convicted, and now we got to undo what's been done. Nah. This is, we don't believe you. We already know what time it is. We're going to get somebody else. The problem is, by the time somebody else gets the body, it's been tampered with. It's been tampered with. So now that person is at a loss for what they can find, right? We went through this last time I was on. Okay, right. But the rush to say, yo, this is what happened, right? It's disturbing. Like, no, we don't know what happened. Let's find out. Let's grab everybody that was there, question them. None of this took place. Y'all kids go home. We'll put out a statement and y'all shut the fuck up. Or let's get our story straight. Now these kids are beginning to get interviewed one by one, and we're going to go into that. But let's watch some more of this video.
Was there trauma to the head? Was there pressure on the neck? Was there a toxic level of a drug? Was there an internal injury? One by one, those possibilities get eliminated. And only when every other door is shut, only then can the word drowning be written. That is the standard. That is the order it has to happen in. Which brings us back to the problem. The sheriff didn't follow that process. He announced the ending before the story had been examined. He started with the answer instead of working toward it. And this is where the timeline becomes critical. Nolan Wells was a teenager. He went missing, and for days, no one knew where he was. Then on July 6th, his body was recovered from the water. Think about what that gap means. A person missing for days, the body sitting in water the entire time. Water changes things. Time changes things. Evidence does not wait for anyone. So the moment Nolan was recovered, the clock was already working against the truth. Every hour made the examination harder. Every hour mattered more, not less. And in that exact window, when caution should have been highest, the opposite happened. Instead of slowing down, instead of waiting for the science, the case was closed publicly. Fast, confident, final. Now, to be fair, maybe the sheriff saw something at the scene that informed his statement. That's possible. But here's the point. If he saw something, it should be in a report. It should be documented. It should be examined by someone independent. A statement on camera is not evidence. And a public ruling has weight. Once authorities say accident, that shapes everything that follows.
He's trying to give this official, I forget what he said, what the guy was, a captain, whatever he was, police guy, some leeway. No. If there's one thing I'm confident of in this whole thing is the effort to cover this up. That I'm certain about. Okay? There's an effort being made to cover this up. The sheriff, yeah. I have no doubt in my mind that this is a cover-up. No doubt, to help these kids and to keep them from facing any sort of court proceedings or anything like that. They're scared to death that this shit has gone national. The Ben Crumps and the Al Sharptons and all them show. Once they show up, it's a wrap. Okay? It's a wrap. Let me play some more. Let's go.
Shapes how the investigation proceeds. It shapes what the public believes. It shapes the pressure to look deeper. You cannot easily unring that bell, which is why the order matters so much. You examine first, you conclude second. Here, the order was reversed. So step back and look at what we have. A teenager recovered from water. Days between disappearance and discovery. A cause of death announced early by someone who is not a pathologist before a pathologist had done the work.
Right.
The word drowning used as a starting point when the rules say it can only be an ending. That's the contradiction at the center of this case. Not a theory, not a rumor, a sequence that happened in the wrong order. The family didn't accept it. They didn't argue on camera. They didn't hold a press conference filled with emotion. They did something quieter and much harder to ignore. They went out and hired their own pathologist, their own examination, their own set of eyes on.
What's going on, Doc? I see you in the building. What's going on?
The evidence. To do that, they brought in attorney Benjamin Crump. If you follow these cases, you know that name. He shows up when a family believes the official version isn't the whole version, and with him came a second autopsy. Independent, separate from the state. It was carried out on July 10th, just days after the recovery. A different pathologist, a fresh review. A chance to test the official story against the actual body. But here's what makes a second autopsy so difficult. It is never a clean do-over, because by the time it happens, time has already done damage. And in forensic work, time is not neutral. Time is destructive. Let's walk through why. A body holds information like a document, but it's a document that fades. The longer the gap, the more the details blur. Now stack the conditions in this case. The recovery came after days in water. Then the state conducted the first autopsy. Only after that did the independent exam take place. That's not hours later. That's days later. Even in the best conditions, even with refrigeration slowing decomposition, a body continues to change.
The state, in my opinion, is running a conspiracy. In this case, and in the Carmelo Anthony case, I can't help. Hey, look, I know you Southern guys, right? And don't take this messed up, man. But this is there's a pattern going on here. It's a pattern going on here. And I'm not saying that shit don't happen in the North. Right? But them Confederate states y'all live in, man, they still on that bullshit. That ain't no doubt. So no autopsy, no nothing, no investigation, no nothing. It's an accident. Drowned. My man got right up in front of everything. And instead of trying to investigate and find what happened, he declared on his own he's not a professional at that. Cops are not pathologists. They're cops. So, yeah. Not, the usual thing you see is, well, we can't talk about the case because we're trying to find out this and that. And, I know you want to know details. Next question. Yeah, we can't answer this. We can't answer this. We can't answer this because investigation. Investigation. Yeah, we can't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Investigation. We still investigating. Nah. We got it. Accident. The end. They weren't counting on that second autopsy. And if they were, the fix was in. So they removed this kid's whole throat. Why would you need to do that? They're saying, well, it's normal. No, why would you need to do that? What would be the need? What are you saving it for? Are you dedicating it to science? What are you saving it for? Let's continue.
Refrigeration buys time. It does not stop the clock. And water complicates it further. Water can move things, wash things away, soften the very tissue an examiner needs to read. So the second pathologist walked in already at a disadvantage, not because of skill, because of timing. He was reading a document that had been sitting out in the rain. The result, and this is the word that matters most, the independent autopsy did not say accident. It did not say homicide. It said something more honest. Undetermined. People hear that word and misread it. So let's be precise. Undetermined does not mean nothing happened. It does not mean the family is wrong, and it does not mean drowning is confirmed.
Nope.
Undetermined means exactly what it says. The evidence available was not enough to reach a conclusion.
Well, homie reached a conclusion and he ran on TV with it. So the expert couldn't reach a conclusion, but the sheriff could. He ain't the expert. So how did the sheriff reach his conclusion? It's a good question. How? What facts and evidence did the sheriff use or have at his command to reach his conclusion? What did he use? What qualified him to reach that conclusion? Not a sheriff badge. Definitely not that. So the pathologist, the guy who went to school, said, I can't tell you that this is a murder, but I can't tell you that it's not. Well, I can. I says the boy drowned. The end. And that is your MISSI, SSI, PPI. I've been knowing how to spell Mississippi since I'm 5 years old. It's the easiest shit in the world to spell. It's the easiest shit in the world to spell. And when I was spelling it at 5, I had no idea what was behind Mississippi. To me, it was just a state in America that I knew how to spell. It had a lot of letters in it. So Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane reached the conclusion that the trained expert couldn't. Yeah, crooked letter, humpback. I'm going to play a little bit more of this. Then we're going to go to a couple more videos on this.
Examiner could not close the door on any single cause. Sit with that contrast for a second. One side said accident, fast, certain. The independent side, looking carefully, said we cannot be certain at all. That's not two opinions disagreeing on a hunch. That's a professional refusing to overreach. When a pathologist won't commit, it usually isn't because they're careless. It's because the evidence won't let them. And that raises the obvious question. Why couldn't he commit? He had the training. He had the family's full cooperation. He had a body to examine. So what stopped him from going all the way? Here's the answer. He was not working with a complete body. An autopsy depends on access. You examine what is in front of you. You cannot examine what isn't there. And in this case, something was not in front of him. Something specific. Something he needed. It wasn't lost in the water. It wasn't destroyed by time. It was elsewhere, held, kept, retained. The independent examiner did his work right up to a wall, and that wall was an absence. There was a reason he couldn't go further. One piece of Nolan's body was never on his table. The missing piece wasn't random. It wasn't a fragment. It wasn't an afterthought. It was the front of the neck. In forensic terms, they call it the neck block, the interior structures at the front of the throat. And in this case, that section was retained by the state medical examiner, held back, kept in their office, not returned with the body. So when the family's examiner did his work, that region simply wasn't there for him to read. Now, on its own, that might sound technical, a missing section. So what? But once you understand what lives there, you understand why this is the whole case. Here's the part almost no report explains. Different causes of death leave their evidence in different places. And when the question is manual strangulation, pressure applied to the neck by hand, the evidence gathers in one specific zone, the front, not the back, the front. Why the front? Because that's where the critical structures sit. The airway runs down the front. The major blood vessels run down the front. The back of the neck is mostly spine and muscle. The front is where the pressure would tell its story. Let's go one layer deeper, because this is exactly what an examiner looks for. First, a small bone called the hyoid. It sits high in the front of the neck, shaped a little like a horseshoe. Most bones in the body are protected. This one is exposed and delicate. In certain strangulation cases, that small bone can be fractured, so examiners check it carefully. An intact hyoid tells one story, a broken one tells another. Second, the strap muscles. These are the thin muscles at the front of the neck. Under pressure, tiny blood vessels inside them can rupture. That leaves signs beneath the surface, signs the naked eye might miss, but a trained examiner is looking for.
What we should be looking to see next is some sort of court order to release that body part. That's what we should be looking to see next. If I'm an attorney for these people, that's what I want. I want you to release what you kept. I don't want to hear that you lost it. I don't want to hear that your dog ate it. I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. Release what you kept. And it should not appear tampered with. Right? An expert should be able to see this. Let the independent pathologist get the remains that you kept. It'd be nice to see this, but I'm sure the judge in Mississippi is probably in cahoots. These are small town people, things of this nature. Everybody knows everybody. I've lived in small towns. I know how this network works because I lived in a small town and I was not in that network. Everybody knows each other on a first name basis. So all my big city people, it's some different type of shit going on in these small towns. And if you're in this chat, you're watching this video, you're from a small town, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody's going to school with everybody. Everybody knows everybody. You know my niece, you know my nephew, you know my cousins, you know my brothers, my sisters, my mama. And I don't know if this kid grew up in this place, if he grew up with these kids, or if they moved there or whatever. You know, I think that a lot of and I've heard this sentiment, right? Black people got to think about where they move and what school they kid gonna end up in and what kind of experiences he's gonna have in some of these places. These are some of the things you got to think about. Ooh, this is nice. Ooh, for a nice price. And once you move there, a lot of these places, like, because I'm from the city where, like, when you go to school, you got a lot of options. You can go to your zone school or you can apply to schools outside of your area. So, like, in New York, you can go to school in Brooklyn or you go to school in Manhattan and not even live in Manhattan. But in a lot of these places, you got to go to that school right there. The school that's in your district. You move to that district, that's your school. That's how it go. And if you fake like you somewhere else, so your kid will go somewhere else, well, we seen how that played out. When all the people got in trouble trying to get their kids into certain schools with them fake addresses. Y'all remember that case? So when you get your nice house and you in a nice neighborhood and all that, and now your kids got to get bullied in school and pranked and initiated and all types of wild shit. So I'm going to play a little bit more of this. We're going to go to the next video in a second. This video is like 23 minutes long. You know, I'll send links if you want them. We'll play a little
Third,
bit
petechiae, pinpoint marks caused when small vessels burst under pressure. Examiners look for them in the eyes, the face, the lining of the heart, and when they find them in someone pulled from water, paired with other signs, it changes everything. All of that evidence lives in the front of the neck, and none of it was available to the independent pathologist. because the state kept it. So we're left with this. The sheriff said no foul play before an autopsy. The independent examiner said undetermined because he couldn't examine the one part that mattered. And now a doctor who has reviewed the case says Nolan Wells was manually strangled. Someone is wrong. And the tissue that could prove who sits in a refrigerator unexamined by independent eyes. So the front of the neck holds the answer. The hyoid bone, the strap muscles, the tiny blood vessels that rupture under pressure. Together, they form a pattern. And a pattern is what pathologists read. Now bring it back to Nolan. The one region that holds those answers is the exact region that was retained by the state, which means a board-certified forensic pathologist reviewing this case could only point to the obvious problem. If you don't have the front of the neck, you cannot confirm strangulation.
Okay, we're going to stop right here. We're going to go to the next video. So I get it. Yeah. Basically, you know, you got somebody saying, yeah, this kid was strangled. They thought they was going to jump in. This is what happened. The end. It's not going the way they wanted it to go, right? So next, we're going to watch a video. This is the black woman who cleaned up the audio that a lot of us heard, right? So I'm going to throw that up. Shout out to my man Lonzo. He posted this earlier. So let me turn the sound on here. So yeah, the audio that we heard is this woman. So shout out to my man Mass. I don't know if you're still in the building, Mass. If you're watching this, put something in the comment section so I know you're there. All right, let's run with this real quick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to bring that shit on screen first. Hold on. All right. So now I'm gonna play this and then full screen it.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup, sound design, and post-production, I decided to work on that C-toe call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter dialogue and background audio easier to hear. So I basically used techniques such as subtractive EQ, compression, gain adjustments, noise reduction, frequency isolation, and other traditional processing methods. So what I did was I separated Vicky, the C-toe dispatcher, from Warren and the audio originating from the boat so that I can concentrate more closely on what was happening behind and around Warren, pretty much on the boat. And I specifically chose not to rely on AI because aggressive AI enhancements and voice isolation tools can sometimes introduce artifacts and distort the speech or create ambiguity around the sounds that were originally present. And for something this serious, I wanted my processing to remain as conservative as possible. You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely, and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here. You'll also notice that my time code may not match the regular timestamp on the original uploaded video. And that's because I'm working inside a professional post-production timeline, a digital audio workstation, basically using SMPTE time code, which in film, that's displayed in hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Film and TV timelines are completely different from timestamps that you see when you're watching regular videos or when you're watching a movie and you hit pause. So basically the time code on the screen is there to identify the precise location within my working session, not to represent the elapsed timestamp displayed by the original video player. And I hope that makes sense. For this first video, I'm sharing only approximately 37 seconds of the call. I originally intended to continue much further, but once I separated the dispatcher from the boat and started concentrating exclusively on the background dialogue, what I believed I was hearing became extremely difficult for me to process emotionally, and I needed to take a mental break. But I wanted to release this portion because some of the details that stood out most to me occurred very early in the call, like right at the top of the call. And so I'm gonna let the audio play. Read my transcription if you want to reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear. I want you to listen first, listen again, compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears. I hope this breakdown helps.
So here's the audio. Now, this audio has a little bit more than the audio that I played before, right? So there's some more things in this audio that I did not previously hear. So the reason I shout my man out that I shouted out earlier. So one of the things that me and him, because we had a dog down debate last night, man. That's my boy. And he basically said that one of the girls said something to the effect of "you killed him" or something like that, right? He says he didn't say it, right? But he did, right? I stand 10 toes down on that. Now, Mass, if you're saying you didn't say it, which you did, you should have stuck with that. You should have stuck 10 toes down on what you said, because right now I'm about to play it. Because I asked my man yesterday, I said, did she say those words? And he's texting me now, Mass, you said what you said. And you were actually right in saying what you said, because you said it more than once. You said that she said, did you kill him, or something to that effect. When she actually said, she didn't ask him like that. It was different words. I'll play the audio right now. Listen.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
So just notice that all of this conversation occurs before this kid starts speaking to the operator, right? So yeah, he's there. He can see and hear what's going on. He even asked him, I think, get up or shut up or whatever he said.
Shut the fuck up!
Tells him shut the fuck
And
up.
so I'm gonna let
let's go back. Let's go back.
Helps.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up!
So she got rid of all the audio of the operator, so you only hear the kids. So what I gather from this is this, right? From this audio, right? And this is before we're going to go to another video after this, right? What I gather from this audio, and basically it says, can we cover it up? Yeah, I thought all about that. Oh, you killed him. He's already dead. Is he dead? Yeah. Yells Nolan. Oh my God. Nolan, wake up. Inaudible but clear. Wyatt. And somebody yells, wake up, and then says, shut the fuck up, or get the fuck up. Then, damn it, Bart. No's really dead now, right? Now, this is what was interpreted, right? Got to say it that way. This is what was interpreted in the audio, right? So I'll say this, right? What I gather from this, me personally, and we'll see as things move along, right? Something occurred, of course. Something occurred, right? Let's say that the person that's saying that he was choked is correct, that he was choked until he couldn't breathe, or whatever the case may be. What we don't know, let me start with what we do know. What we do know, something occurred, some sort of physical situation to the point of death. We know this. Okay. This thing where they said, oh, we left him there and he wasn't with us. It's not looking good. That defense is not looking good. He was with some girl, and the girl said, nah, he wasn't with me. He was with y'all. I left him with y'all. That's not looking good. If this audio holds up to be something that people listen to and they take it as he got back on the boat with y'all. I said it before in the other stream. If he got back on the boat and they find that out and they could prove that, these kids are cooked. That's number one. Because then they lied, and now your credibility is shot. Number two, right? Whatever occurred took place, whatever physical altercation took place, it took place before that phone call. And he was already unresponsive before that kid got on the phone. That's something we can hear, right? They were already talking about Nolan being unresponsive before this kid starts talking. He didn't say a word before these kids had a whole conversation about, is he dead, this and that, and dead, you killed him, yada, yada. That whole exchange took place before this kid on the phone begins to speak to an operator. We all heard this, right? Now, the physical altercation, what we don't know is the intention, whether it was an intentional or unintentional homicide. That's what we don't know. We know that something or someone, he ain't choke on crab legs. Okay? Someone caused this kid to not be able to breathe if he was choked. What we don't know is if that person intended on killing him or they was just fucking around on some white boy shit. That's what we don't know. And we can assume, we can guess, and all this other shit. All I can assume happened after that is, oh shit, he's dead. What the fuck are we gonna do? Because if it's a homicide, well, first of all, it's a homicide. A homicide could be a murder. It could be a manslaughter. Let me tell you the definition of homicide. Homicide means one person killed another person. That's all it means. And we know it's a homicide because he didn't choke on fish. He didn't choke on, like I said, a crab leg. He didn't choke on nothing else. A thing did not kill him. A person killed him. Whether it's intentional or unintentional doesn't matter. It comes with charges. These kids are scared to death. Now they got to put him somewhere and say he wasn't with us. That's what I gather from this. I am open to being wrong. I am open to new information coming out and correcting me. I'm open to all of those things, and we'll have another conversation about it when we get more information. What we do not know, what we cannot be certain of, is the intention. Now, JB Design says, do you think the national attention is going to attract out-of-state investigators who might break the case? It might attract the FBI if it hasn't already. Right? Now, My man is texting me. I'll get to you later, Maz. Because yeah, I'm not gonna assume to know the intent until we hear more backstory of what was going on between those kids and what motives and things like of that nature. We don't have that information yet. That's how I deal with this type of stuff. I'm not jumping to no conclusions, but they're still investigating. I don't want to assume and then find out later and then look like an idiot. Okay? But what we know, what I'm going to say with certainty is that they're hiding a homicide. That's what I'm going to say. Okay? So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to an interview with another kid. They interviewed another one of his friends, so-called friends. I don't think none of these kids are his friends, and I'm going to tell you why soon. And I think I kind of covered it on the last conversation, right? So another one of Nolan's friends gives an interview. So this is a guy doing a reaction. We're going to do a reaction on his reaction, right? So let's bring up this video, right? Let's bring up this video. So let's hear what homie got to say. And he's going to say some of the things that I said the other day. Let's play it.
Has been interviewed. And some of the things that another one of Nolan Wells' friends, in fact, refers to himself as his best friend, has been interviewed. And some of the things that he said in the interview are worth noting. So I want to talk about them here. So watch this short clip from his interview and then stick around. Let's talk about it.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
No.
All right. First off, let's recognize that this kid is being interviewed by our favorite Officer Tatum. Okay? It's being interviewed by Officer Tatum. And we already know Officer Tatum is looking to exonerate these kids. That's what he's looking to do. Officer Tatum is the worst kind of Negro. I swear to God, he's the worst kind of Negro. Okay? So, I'm going to play this. Yeah, Indigo, I saw it right before the stream. So, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this, and we're going to speak on it. But I just wanted to point that out. Officer Tatum. He interviewed the other kid, too. Let's go.
Do you have personal knowledge of someone directly in your friend group having anything to do with Nolan's death?
No. After watching the interview, that was the clip that stood out to me the most, and I want to tell you why. But first, I want to point out, I find it very interesting that both of the friends so far have agreed to be interviewed by that particular interviewer. He clearly is not asking questions interested in the truth. He's there helping these young men defend themselves, not even like to push their narrative. Now, I want to be very clear. I am not saying that these kids are guilty of anything, but I am saying that interviewer is not interested in finding out what actually happened. In that clip, he asked the young man, he asked Tristan, did you do anything to Nolan? Or do you know of any of the other friends that did anything to Nolan? It's a very interesting question to ask. If he was in fact interested in the truth, when the young man said no, he would have said, then what do you suspect happened? He would have said, do you know anyone else that might have done anything to Nolan? He would have asked follow-up questions that were leading towards the truth. I perceive the best reason that these kids are most comfortable with him doing the interviews is because he's not actually asking any question about the truth. He's being very soft in allowing them to push their narrative. Now, as I watched this part of the story, this part of the clip, this part of the interview, I do want to point out a couple of things that as a psychotherapist who makes a living interviewing people, doing sessions with people, there were two things that stood out to me that I would be interested in clinically. The first thing, actually there's three. The first thing is he sat with his arms crossed the whole time. And that is a non-verbal communication of I'm protecting myself. That is a nonverbal way of saying I am protecting myself from what is here. Your body almost can't help it when you're in situations like this. And these are the sorts of things that we are trained to attend to. The other nonverbal thing that he is doing, and he does this throughout the entire interview, and so did the other friend being interviewed by the same person, is he's leaning away from the conversation, almost as if there's like the conversation itself is a tangible object that he wants to lean away from. So the entire interview, his body language is very stoic and very much leaning away. And that would be something to me that I would note, and I would be thinking, I wonder what is happening here. Another thing that stood out to me, and people, when I talk about the way that as a clinician, I would be thinking about their body language and their voice and the tone in these interviews. Everybody grieves differently, so on and so on. But I'm actually not talking about grief. I'm talking about communication, and more specifically, trauma. Losing someone that you're referring to as your best friend 2 weeks ago, roughly, should impact you and should impact you in a significant way.
Yeah.
But here's the real key that is present in this particular interview. You are under suspicion that you were involved, and your friend group was under suspicion that you were involved. Whether you were involved or not, and at this point, only he knows the absolute truth, the presence of fear should be overt. While in this interview, there should be fear. So being asked the question, were you involved, or do you know of anybody else that was involved? There should be some noticeable presence of fear, anger, or some sort of emotion connected to that stressor. Because that should release the chemical in your body known as cortisol that should cause you to demonstrate that you are under stress. So for him to very, very calmly just say no to both of those questions, again, I don't know that he's lying, but I do know that that's unusual. And as a clinician, that is something that I would definitely be noticed. I would definitely be aware of as it was happening when I was interviewing him. And I would definitely want to investigate and ask further questions. I'll say this about this interview, as I said about the previous interview with the other friend. I do not know what the truth is. And I do not know whether these kids were involved or not. But I am very confident that they are hiding something.
And there it is. There it is. Let me say this. I'm gonna say it. I said it in the other video. If you wasn't there for, I'll say it for you today. Okay. Okay. Whoever your best friend is, right? Picture him in your head right now, or her, or whatever. Your best homie, right? And let's say that nigga gets shot right in front you, homie. Pow! On some, Soldier Boy. Pow, pow, right? Soldier Boy. Pow! Almost knocked my glass over. Shit. Yo, I was outside, man. Nigga, I was with my man, and niggas came up, jumped out the wall. Pow, pow, right? They shoot your man right in front of you. On some Kane Menace to Society shit, right? Oh shit, they shot my man. Oh, that nigga dead. 2 days later, when they ask you about this, you're gonna be like, yeah, they shot the homie. Yeah, I was there, I was there. Guys jumped out. We was chilling. Guy jumped out. He had the gun. He shot him. I saw it. Okay. Yo, these dudes is real laid back. For some kids, they have the stoicism of a 40-year-old. Let me listen, check this out. Our friend here that we just watched, he said, he's a doctor. He deals with this type of stuff all the time. This is something that, like, if you have enough emotional intelligence, right, you can read. First of all, the reason why the kid is responding to those answers with no fear is because they practiced. They knew what he knew what he was going to get asked, and he knew how to answer. It's rehearsed. That's why there's no fear. That's why there's no nervousness. Hey, look, this is what we're going to say. I'm going to ask you this and that. Don't worry. I'm not trying to, dig, and I'm not trying to embarrass you or implicate you or incriminate you or any of those things. But this is what I'm going to say. This is what you're going to say, and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And considering the person doing the interviewing, of course, this dude is a certified sellout. Okay. So that interview, those two interviews that Officer Tatum conducted with those two kids were both orchestrated. Trust me that they're not the only two people in the room. Trust me, behind the cameras, there's a bunch of people, parents and all that shit. Trust me. Okay. We're going to come do the interview. You're going to ask these questions. I'm going to give you these answers. You get your views. You know what I'm saying? You get your audience, you get your content, and we get to speak to somebody that is not hostile. Officer Tatum ain't hostile to nobody that possibly killed no nigga. And hey, Hall of Fame, they probably did have a contract, but I doubt they'd need it. Officer Tatum ain't about to put out no content to support any theory that a black man may have gotten murdered on some bullshit, right? Again, I want to maintain, we don't know if this is a murder. Understand, murder is very specific. It's very specific, right? But we do know it's a homicide. It's definitely a homicide. This is a homicide. This is a homicide. And whatever they do know, they're hiding it. This is some I know what you did last summer type shit. They're hiding it, right? Again, this explains cool demeanors. These kids are shocked to death. They on the boat. They scared to snap. But now when they get interviewed, everything is cool. They cool as a fan. I want to play some of the actual interview from Officer Tatum. I got it pulled up, right? So let's look at a little bit of that, right? Let me pull that over here on my other screen here. So yeah, let's look at the actual interview without the commentary. See how cool my man is chilling over here. Cause it's just too much. You just lost your best friend. Your best homie, right? Yo, there's dudes that ain't my best friend. They my second best. Oh, we real tight. And this dude dying on a boat. Dying. They can't wake him up. I'm gonna be like, yo, what's going on? He good? We also got to remember these are rich white kids. Let me pull this up. So this is the actual interview. I can't stand this fool. Anyway, somebody got to tap dance, right? Let's go.
Do with Nolan's death?
No.
Do you have personal knowledge of someone directly in your friend group having anything to do with Nolan's death?
No, not at all.
So I saw you on television, you had an interview, and I felt like you laid out a few things that I think the world needs to know and be clear about.
Okay.
And the first one is the relationship that you had with Nolan. Can you explain your relationship with Nolan?
Yeah, I will. So his mom got on TV, as everybody has seen, and said that she didn't know me. And man, that can't be farther from the truth. Me and Nolan, I met Nolan in 9th grade in a second block class. It was math. He was one of the first guys I made friends with. It was somebody I made a connection to. Like off rip, he was an athlete. I could tell he was an athlete when I walked into class.
Hold on, is that Hebrew written on his arm? Somebody let me know. I'm looking at his arm. See, I know this shit like that. Yeah, my man looks like he got like Hebrew written on his forearm. Somebody confirm that for me.
We sat really close to each other, and all he did, he turned around and asked me for a pencil when I first met him in 9th grade when I moved to Ocean Springs. Man, it was tough, and the relationship there has always been best friend in my eyes. I never wanted to take away how close somebody else was with Nolan, but Nolan was my best friend. That was a guy I knew I could call at any point in time. He called me at 11 o'clock on the 4th to see where I was parked at. Man, me and Nolan have countless nights of him giving me advice on my girlfriend, on my life in general. Nolan has been the only friend, and I love my friends and my best friend in this group of guys, but Nolan has been the only person that ever tell me like he's proud of what I've done.
How did this dude your best friend and his mom's? That's crazy. His mom's like, I don't know you. Now, if she's lying, that means she don't fuck with you. That's what that means. If she knows you and she said that, that's what that means. She don't rock with you. And it must be something about that. You know, even if she was cool with you before, like she's seeing how things are moving and she's looking at it like, I don't know. Looks kind of crazy.
He's proud of how hard I worked. He's proud of me going overseas to go play ball. That was my guy. Like, that was my best friend.
Yeah, and so how does it make you feel when the media activists are coming out and alluding to the fact that you may have something to do with what happened to Nolan on that day?
Man, that hurts. It hurts is an understatement. I beat myself up every night I lay down. Beat myself up anytime it crosses my mind. Because in my head, if I wasn't drinking, if I didn't get into that altercation, maybe I would be able to do something. Maybe I would have saw something.
Altercation. Let's continue.
Maybe I would have told Nolan, hey, man, you're not going with that girl. Just come back with us. We're going back a little bit later. We can go meet up with the guys later. Maybe it just plays out different. And then the fact that they're going to play that is I'm already trying to mourn my friend's death as is, and I'm blaming myself for it. To put that in my head is a next level of hurt that can't be truly explained.
Tyrone was good.
Because, man, it's hard to put into words. Generally, it's backstabbing from a sense of a community that I thought I had with my skin color, and they stay so strong together. And I'm supposed to be one of them, but I come up and I speak, and now I'm the person to blame. Now I'm not dark enough for them. I'm not black enough for them, and now I'm the issue. It doesn't make sense. In my head, it doesn't make sense.
Was Nolan, I mean, obviously you were in a friend group, but the way the media makes it seem is that almost as if Nolan was the only black person in this whole friend group. Now they don't even mention you. They don't bring you up in this whole thing when it comes to, what happened at Horn Island. So what's your take on Nolan being, presented as like the only black kid in a group of all these white boys?
That's crazy, man. I know we've spoken a little bit, but that friend group that I'm a part of to this day was the first friend group I was in when I moved to Ocean Springs as a new kid coming in. I never knew any of them. I known one kind of, sort of, back from grade school because we went to the same private school together, but that was it.
I don't know. I like Indigo says this shit is not genuine. It's kind of cold. This is a cold ass interview going on here. This is some cold shit.
That was it. And him being the only black person, minority, any of that measure is insane. Our friend group is diverse from the max. Like, we have a mixed guy. I mean, we had Nolan in our friend group. There's an Asian a part of our friend group. There's a Latino that they're trying to perceive as white. He's truly authentic Mexican. His parents are from Mexico. They came over legally and they did everything right, and he's been here since. It blows my mind because our friend group is not a friend group that sees race. Our friend group sees what good you do for other people, what good you bring, and how the type of person you truly are and where your morals lie. That's one thing in common. Me and my friends might not agree on everything, but our morals align. Our morals know.
If you notice the pattern of questions that this fool is asking is questions that are meant to kill any idea that this may have been racial or there was hostility or this and that and the other, yada yada yada. So that's the thing. Now again, I don't know whether or not it's a racial issue. I don't know. Now people may feel that way, but the questions that are being asked are meant to kill any idea that it could be. You know, like, you're a black guy, you're hanging with them, right? So JB says these are moral appeal questions to make it seem like they can never do anything. Yeah. So what he's doing is he's not investigating. He's not doing any investigative reporting or interviewing. You understand what I'm saying? This sounds like, giving this kid a way to explain his non-guilt or, his group's non-guilt or whatever. That's what this is meant to do.
So for them to even make that narrative up really shows you have no idea what it's like down here on the coast. You have no idea how tight-knit Ocean Springs as a community is. You don't understand it. You don't see the thousands of kids in the high school football stands cheering their team on.
If y'all so tight-knit, who is you fighting? He said he was in an altercation. If I wasn't in that altercation, this wouldn't have happened. Who was you fighting? Y'all tight-knit. Y'all supposed to be kicking it. Oh, I was fighting my friends. Who was there? Who else was there? Was it some outsiders? Remember, you're the other black kid you're fighting. So one black kid is gone. You're the other black kid in an altercation. This don't look good, man. I want to know if two white guys were fighting. That's what I want to know. And we know Officer Dickhead ain't about to ask that question. One black kid dead, one black kid got to fight somebody. So JB says, to be honest, I think we're going to find out the truth because America knows there's a hostile environment when it comes to minorities, and it knows we got one foot out the door as far as leaving the country. I don't think they're worried about us doing that. I don't know. But him even mentioning if I wasn't in that altercation, I wonder if that was a slip up or I don't know. But that's interesting that he was in an altercation and he's the other black kid and Nolan is dead. So he's dead and you were in a fight. Very interesting. Let's keep moving.
Nobody cares what color you are. We're there to have fun and to just live. And that's how Nolan lived, that's how I live now. I've grown up and I have more big boy stuff, but in high school, all I cared about was going to hang out with my guys.
And fight. What was the fight over? Let's get into that. You don't want that Marcus Aurelius interview. Motherfucker be like, ah!
And I mean, on a personal level that leads off of it, is like, it got me in trouble with my girlfriend just because I wanted to be with the guys. I never once thought, man, they look at me different. Man, I'm kind of an outcast to them. No. All their moms have always welcomed me with open arms. Anytime I needed anything, I knew I could call them and their parents.
No, the woman says she don't know you. The woman says she don't know you. You couldn't call her anytime. You couldn't call her anytime, man. Not at all. She says she don't know you. Who you? Who this dude? I don't know him. He hung with my son. Something ain't right. Let's keep going.
And they would do anything in the world for me. So with Crump pushing this narrative, it's wrong.
Yeah,
it's completely wrong, especially about our friend group.
Yeah, I find it, especially after talking to you, meeting some of the guys, that it seems like there was an agenda. But can you walk us through just your perspective?
You see what he doing? You see what he doing, y'all? This ain't journalism. This ain't reporting. There's an agenda. No, this is an agenda right here. This is the agenda right here. This ain't no investigation over here. But, of course, like I said, he agreed. They agreed. It's rehearsed. Moms don't know him. You sitting up here acting like it's all good. Moms don't rock with you.
Perspective from that day. I don't know if did you go with them initially? Were you a part of the group that went to Horn Island?
So I wasn't, no, clear that up. No, I was not on the boat with them. Yes, I was a part of the group that was supposed to go out.
Well, then what do you know? Man, get him out of here. He wasn't on the boat. Why are we talking to him? Yeah, I was there before, but then later on I wasn't. All right, this interview's over. Cut his mic. Cut his mic off. It's nice talking to you, young fella. You can go now. Get the fuck out of my shit. Time for you to go. You wasn't there. I wasn't on the boat. What?
So the only reason why I did not go on the boat is I was offered, I got begged to go, but my uncle, we also took 12 people out on our boat, not including us two, so 14. And my uncle knows the passengers wouldn't have helped. Generally wouldn't have helped with anything. With that many people on a boat, you need a little bit of help. So my uncle was like, hey, can you just ride out with me and you can go do your thing throughout the day on the island? I don't care. I don't need you. I just need help to get out there and then pick everything up.
All right, somebody need to find out where this nigga's uncle was. That's how I bought it, bro. That's how, your uncle, you was helping your uncle. Okay, write that shit down. From what time to what time? Okay, from this time to this time, Okay, yeah, go find out GPS location, ping his phone. Find out if this little nigga lying, if he was on a boat. Find that out. Find out where this little nigga uncle was. And if that story checks out, I'm on my Columbo, nigga. Where your uncle's at? Home Depot? Nah. Once you start mentioning other people and they locations. Oh, now we gotta see where they was at and what the fuck they was doing at the time. I ain't going to boat because I was with my uncle. So you wasn't there. Why are we talking to you? You about to sit here and tell us, oh, they cool. So wait, how did you get back on the boat to see Nolan leave with a bitch? Hamina, burning up. See that door in the corner? I should have kicked that shit over. But wow, nigga, you lying. You wasn't there. You was with your uncle. Then you magically appeared to have an altercation? What time was the altercation? When did that happen? Before or after your uncle? Right. You know you done fucked up, right? Nah, nigga, 12:30. Lies ain't matching up. Bullshit catching up. What the fuck going on here?
Because I know all these people are going to be drunk and they're not going to want to do the extras that nobody sees about going out on the boat, right? And so I told Wyatt that, and oops, my bad. But I told him, I told him that, and I told him everything, which was go to plan. We were leaving a little bit earlier than them. I was going to try to have a spot saved out. And Nolan calls me at 11 o'clock. I missed his phone call. Called me twice. I missed both of them. I saw Wyatt and Nolan on the boat. They pulled right in front of our boat.
Check his phone. Check his phone. What'd he say? Did he say a time?
Missed both of them. I me at 11 o'clock to have a spot saved out. And Nolan calls me at 11 o'clock.
Look into that. Look into that. Officer, Detective Klinsky. Look into that. Text him at 11 o'clock. Check the records. Check the records. So this is, hold on. This is the Wyatt kid? Is this the Wyatt kid? No, Triseston Shepard. Okay. Yeah. Check his phone. You should have 2 texts from Nolan Wells at 11 o'clock. Now, you can delete a text, but you can't put one in there, motherfucker.
I missed his phone call. Called me twice.
Oh, he called you twice. You missed 2 phone calls from him. Okay, check his phone.
Both of them. I saw Wyatt and Nolan on the boat. They pulled right in front of our boat. And they were screaming. I turned my head and I was like, yo, there's a spot over there, where they end up anchoring out. I helped them set their stern anchor. From the time they showed up until now, going back to it, 20 minutes before they left, I was with them. That's who I was with. I spent all day with them, minus the morning time before they got out there. But from the time they got out there to the time they went back in.
Okay, he just answered the question. He got back with them later. But he still said he wasn't with them on well, I'm trying to figure out, was he with them on the boat during the audio we listened to? Let's listen some more.
I was with them. Those are my friends, man. Those are my guys.
Yeah, I want to get a few more details.
I'm sorry about that.
I know that. Yeah, go ahead. I know that you were all over the news because there was a perceived fight. People, this is the thing that gets me, and I want.
No, there was a fight. He said there was an altercation. It wasn't unperceived. He said it. He said it that he was in an altercation. Now, I don't know if Dickhead is talking about between Nolan and someone else, but we at least know of one fight, the one he just admitted to.
Can you clarify this? When I saw the video that they put out on the internet claiming that Nolan was saying, "Give me my effing phone back," the coach came out, Nolan's coach came out and said immediately he knew it wasn't Nolan's voice. And obviously it wasn't Nolan's voice because you were the one that was
me yelling, yeah.
in there yelling. You got into an altercation with somebody.
So then it wasn't perceived. It was an altercation. You see what Dickhead is doing? He's saying it was a perceived altercation. The kids already said he was in an altercation. And somebody took his phone. One of his guys, right? Took his phone. They took Nolan's phone too. Remember, the kid still had his phone. So y'all taking niggas' phones. So you gotta listen. You gotta listen. You gotta pay attention. What white boy prank is this where we take niggas' phones? And tell me if Wyatt got his phone taken. Or any of these other kids. Right. So yeah, so we know of you trying to get your phone. They had his phone after the fact. I'm trying to tell you, brother. I'm on my Columbo shit. Let's go.
What happened after that? Like, put me in your place where the fight is over, whatever happened. Nolan is somewhere, you're somewhere, you're hanging out. And when was the last time that you saw Nolan before you left Horn Island?
So after the fight,
not the perceived fight. The fight. Who did you fight, homeboy? One of your guys. Who? Say the name. That Dickhead is a cop. Once you a cop, you always a cop. I had a badge too. It's often overlooked. But yeah, I wasn't no street cop, but still, you learn the same shit. He knows the questions he would ask. He's sitting there knowing the questions he would ask if he wasn't giving my man a platform to exonerate himself or exonerate his friends. Do I think this kid in particular was involved in some shit? Nope. Nope. But he knows some shit happened. And those are my guys, man. Those are my guys. He ain't gonna tell on his guys. These kids, these tokens, they want to be down so fucking bad. They want to be down so bad.
I didn't stay on Horror Island much longer. So the objective, I was really upset. So with you hearing me yelling, my uncle had told me to get on the boat and wouldn't let me back off the boat. Obviously, I was really mad and I wanted to fight, wanted to get off. What wasn't smart, man. Mm-hmm. And so I was on the boat, I'm yelling. And shortly after that, I left the island. I left probably 30 to 45 minutes after I got into a fight. We started to pack up.
You left because you got into a fight, you was pissed off, and you bounced. You ain't know I was corrections, man? Come on, man. Stop playing. Anyway, it's for 6 months, man. Anyway. You left because you fought with somebody. They was fucking with you in your phone, and you was pissed off, and you left. Oh, after that, I left Horn Island. No, y'all was having fun. Y'all was on a boat. You was with your guys. What he's not saying is your guys was fucking with you to the point where you got pissed off and you bounced. That's what he's not saying. And Officer Asshole knows he's not saying that. Let's continue.
And left because I was so upset. As Javon mentions,
There you
that
go. There we go.
they were ready to get me back to land because I was really mad. I was genuinely really mad. But the last time I saw Nolan,
yeah, you guys. This is why I kind of lean to. They was fucking with these kids on this boat. I'm leaning hard on my theory that they was rough with these kids, him and Nolan. And some rough horseplay bullshit happened, and they ended up killing him. Not, no, I'ma kill you and I want you to die shit. No. Yeah, dude, choke him out, man. Yeah. You know, some Cobra Kai type shit, right? That's how I feel. Again, I'm open to being incorrect, wrong. Do I think it comes from some sort of token ridicule? Yeah, absolutely. With us watching this interview, the other black kid, he just let us know, yeah, they was fucking with you too. But you left. Who knows if your ass is stuck around? Would they be interviewing another motherfucker about you?
I was walking to the boat. This was before the fight. It's me and my old lady. We had just got out of a group of people. Nolan was walking towards Wyatt's boat. I was walking in the opposite direction towards my boat. And I dabbed Nolan up. I made a slick comment about something, actually about the girl that he was with. I made a slick comment to him, us joking around, and I kept going. And not even 10 minutes after that is when I got into a fight. Last thing I told Nolan was, all right, buddy, I love you. See you later. I'm glad I said it. I had been.
Hold on. I gotta come out of this. Hold on. I gotta come out of this, man. Hold on. So you left your man, right? Your best fucking friend. The last thing I told him was, man, I love you, man. When the last time y'all said to y'all homies, like, hey, man, I love you? Now, you know, me and my man, we went through it last night over this very topic. And I'm sorry, man, I had to bang the phone on him. I'm sorry, man. I had to bang the phone on him. But then I text him. I still got it here. I text him. It's love, man. And he returned it. It's love. But that's how crazy you got to get. Unless, just so niggas understand, like, it ain't no beef, because we you know, rah, 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 rah. This is what we do. But if y'all guys, y'all chilling, ain't no reason to just randomly tell your nigga, hey, man, I love you, man. Huh? Who just randomly says this? Hey, JB, I agree with you. He said this dude doesn't want to implicate anyone because he still lives around these people and any bullying that might have been happening. Mind you, think about this. If the whole town is conspiring together to protect these kids, what make you think this kid right here can be like, nah, man, Brad did it? Yo, when you live in these small towns, man, I mean, unless y'all gonna move out the town, I gotta sell that. Dad got to sell his house. He got to sell my boat. We got to get the fuck up out of here. You can't live there after you go against the village. So you got into a fight with one of them dudes that you say is your guys, but they ain't really your guys because you got mad enough. You was like, fuck these guys, I'm out of here. And you left your man there. You left your man there. He turned up dead. Now you left. You told him, yo, man, I love you, man. I want to know, now that you've taken yourself away from the scene again, I want to know at what point did you say, well, he went with the girl? Let's get back into it. I'm paying close attention to every word, every fucking word he's saying. Let's get back into it.
Under the influence a little bit, and that's probably why I did say it at the time. Just, getting all.
So he was drunk. So that means they were drinking. So he was wilding. They was wilding. And this is what I was saying. Some drunken, wild bullshit. So let's keep going.
Lovey-dovey, but I'm at peace. I said it. I'm glad I said it. That was my last encounter with Nolan. Just telling him I love him.
Did you have any, so you leave the island, did you have any encounters or association with these phones, with the keys? Did you have any connection to any of that?
I did not. So what I know, Warren started, I got my first phone call from Warren at about 9:20. I didn't answer it. I was asleep. I'd been on the boat all day. I didn't feel like going to party anymore. I went to bed. So I got my first phone call about 9:20. And I didn't wake up again until a little after 11 o'clock. And that was to my brother coming in the room being like, hey, Warren's trying to get a hold of you. You need to answer the phone. They're looking for Nolan. And I'm half awake, and I pick up the phone. And by this time, nobody had came to the house to grab anything. And Warren gets on the phone, and he's just like, hey, man, he was like, hey, have you talked to Nolan? Anything else? I was like, no, I haven't talked to him, man. He was with that girl last time I knew. And he was like, okay. He was like, man, we can't get a hold of him. We don't know where he's at. And I was like, man, it's Nolan. He's probably just out somewhere with that girl. Like, get a hold of the girl, you'll probably find Nolan. It's no big deal. And he was like, all right. He was like, but we're starting to freak out. We're getting on the phone with Coast Guard. I was like, okay. And
what it sounds like to me is this whole girl story came to him secondhand. It doesn't sound to me as if he witnessed Nolan leave with the girl. He left. And then they said, well, he probably went with the girl. Let's back it up. I want to hear that again.
With that girl, like, who's that? And I was like, man, it's Nolan. He's probably just out somewhere with that girl. Like, get a hold of the girl, you'll probably find Nolan. Score. Big deal. And he was like, all right. He was like, but we're starting to freak out. We're getting on the phone with Coast Guard. I was like, okay. And at that time, he had already talked to his mom, Nolan's mom. And he was getting on the phone with the Coast Guard. And I need to be specific about this. I did not call Warren's phone. I called another one of our buddies' phone, and it was on speakerphone. They were all together. I was talking on my other buddy's phone, talking to Warren. He was dialing Coast Guard because he hung up the phone and was like, hey, this is them, bye, and hung up the phone. And that was the last time I talked to him until the next morning when we all decided, well, when I woke up about 7 o'clock that morning, we had all decided that we were going to go out on the boat and go look for Nolan. Wyatt had already had his boat still in the water. We took that boat out. It was
what day are we talking?
That's Sunday morning.
Sunday morning on the 5th. The 5th?
So it was Saturday the 4th was the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
The 5th was Sunday. We were on the water from 9:45 to 11:50, 12 o'clock era, about lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
While we were on the water, we talked to a rescue guy, and he told us to get off the water and said that they kind of had the island and the water under control. That's the professionals, man.
Yeah.
They told us to get on social media and find out any information we can. And by that time, we had already talked to a good amount.
So then the law was already looking for him. And then these guys going, oh, we're going to go look for him. The way he made it sound is like they were conducting their own search, but Nolan was already missing and they were looking for him. That's why the guy told him get off the water with the experts. What were the experts doing? They was looking for him. So y'all performed the search. Well, y'all went to help the cops find somebody. yo. Oh my God. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's back that up a little bit. Yeah. We want to help.
Out any information we can. And by that time, we had already talked to a good amount of people out there. So it just made sense. So we went back in and we concluded our search and started to search all socials and started sharing everything we could and try to get a hold of anybody that could have talked to Nolan, that Nolan possibly would have reached out to. And that led into the night. It led all night long. I didn't sleep at all Sunday. Monday, I was up at 5 a.m. I was putting fuel in our boat at 6. I got told that we were taking out another boat to Chandelier at 7. So I put my boat back on the lift, and I went to McDonald's, and then I got the news after.
So this kid left his phone and his car keys to go kick it with a broad. Who's doing this? Which one of y'all is leaving your phone and your car keys with your guys, right? I ain't never leave my phone with nobody. Who does that? Y'all know how we are about these phones, man. That's why, if you ever call somebody and they don't answer your call, they looked at that motherfucker and said, I don't want to talk to this motherfucker right now. They got that phone right there. Unless that shit dead, there's only 2 other options. The shit dead or they sleep, but that phone is right there. That's the Matrix. We carry the Matrix around everywhere we go. Who leaves their phone and their keys? Dead people. You find my keys and my phone? Oh my God. You find that shit chilling somewhere? And you don't know where I am? I don't know, man.
I left McDonald's that his body was found. So it was already a plan that we were going and searching and trying to do everything we possibly can.
One more thing I want to throw in. If you notice, Officer Tatum asked him, the phone and the car keys, did you have anything to do with that? He said no. He didn't ask him who did, though. He didn't ask him how did it come to be that these kids had possession of a phone and car keys. I'm with a chick. I got car keys. I'm not leaving them with you. I'm drunk. I got a car. That's a hotel room right there. And my shit parked right over there. Hey, yo. Yeah, let me get them car keys right quick. Yeah, See y'all later. I'm leaving with a broad and I got car keys. I'm leaving them with you. Which one of y'all doing that?
And that's all I wanted to do. Is I wasn't there to help him out in his last minutes, but now I feel like as a friend and as one of my guys, man, I do everything in my power to help now, and that's why I have reached out to the family. I have donated to the family, and I have giving them just your normal death gifts, I would say, as you pay your respects. And
do you think
Yo, this is the worst. Hold on. Let me bring this back. Check this out. This is your man. Yo, this is my guy. Let's bring it back.
Your normal death gifts, I would say, as you pay your respects. And
Do you think
It's my man. Yo, how many times, right, have you guys watched a video where a person can't make it through a sentence talking about they recently deceased partner, girl, cousin, whoever was close? They can't even talk. They break down into crying. This nigga, yo, Officer Taylor said like, this nigga's guilty. My God, this is terrible acting. Let's back that up.
death gifts, just your normal death gifts, I would say, as you pay your respects. And
do you think Benjamin Crump?
This dude's trash, yo. This dude's trash, yo. Yo, you supposed to not be able to contain yourself. Yo, my man is dead. My man's? Yo, I lost 2 dudes recently. Death gifts. Yeah, I ain't never heard of a death gift, but yeah, I lost 2 of my homies recently. You know what I'm saying? Very complicated shit. Ain't gonna get into it, but lost 2 homies recently. I'm saying, man, yo, I'm not a, well, I don't know how old this kid is. Late teens? They're teenagers. It's your man.
Being involved in this case made it better or worse?
100,000 times % worse. Because why on the Tuesday after where has your civil rights been broken? Where has it been shown? You brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight-knit. Yeah, we might not be best friends with everybody, but I promise, if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back 110%. We back each other. Everybody.
Ain't you hear what he's saying? Ocean Springs gonna have Ocean Springs back. You know what that sound like?
I've seen, we back each other. And for them to push this narrative and really push it.
Dre, you might have something there. You might actually have something there, bro.
It just shows me is like you have no idea who you're dealing with.
I mean, he got Hebrew on his arm.
Or who you're messing with. And I think he's taking the grieving parents and manipulating and turning this and making it sound all bad, because nothing's like that at all. No.
Have you gotten death threats? Or, because I know that the other young men that I spoke to about this, especially the white young men, they're getting all kind of death threats. They're being accused of killing Nolan. Did you get the same backlash and threats that
this dude is so supportive. He's so supportive. Officer Tatum cares. He's so supportive. Do you guys feel threatened? You feel threatened? Are they talking crazy? Tell us about that, will you? You sound like a therapist. This ain't an interview. This is a therapy session, man.
Those guys have gotten?
Yes, I've gotten the death threats per se, but I've also gotten the threats along the lines of where it's like I've been cast out of the Black community. I've been called white. I've been called a wetback. all these things. I've been sent photos of me and my grandmother, and they've been.
So what's his makeup? That's interesting. Let me see. There was a video of a white dude that went in on Tatum and said he's being used as confirmation bias. Solid video. Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
Been told that she's the devil. She's just looking for the time to kill you. You need to be careful and blah blah blah. And it's like, man, if y'all want to know the story, the only people that showed up for me in my whole life has been my white side of my family. So for y'all to sit,
Dre, you win the prize. You win the prize. You heard what he said? He said it. He just confirmed. Let's back it up.
has been my story. The only people that showed up for me in my whole life has been my white side of my family.
Oh! Oh! Tell him what he's won. A new car. Dun, 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 dun. That was an interesting development. My man Dre. Columbo out this bitch. Be my junior detective. I bet his family's white.
So for y'all to sit there and drag their name and to drag me down, and I'm supposed.
My man said, first of all, he's talking about for you to drag them down. He said the most supportive side of my family's the white side. Ah, that's where your loyalty lies.
My whole life is the story. The only people that showed up for me in my whole.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
Fucked up.
No.
Do you have?
Hold on. Let me get back there.
I know there's a lot of mysterious things, but like, what to you? What's the craziest thing that?
That's all I wanted to do. Is I wasn't there to help him out in his last minutes, but now.
So you wasn't there.
They told us to get on social media, and that's all I wanted to do. Is want to buy them just your normal death gifts. We back each other. Just shows me is like you have no idea turning this and making it sound at all.
Young men that I spoke to about this.
I've been cast out of the Black community. I've been called white. I've been called a wetback. Photos of me and my grandmother, and you need to be careful. That's showed up for me in my whole life has been my white side of my family.
Right.
So for y'all to sit there and drag their name and to drag me down, and I'm supposed to be one of y'all, and you're supposed to have my back, and we're supposed to be in this together. And it's really eye-opening.
Did it shock you that it turned this way? Meaning that.
So wait, so you telling me, right? This kid should think about. I won't put all these things together for everybody that's been listening to this shit the whole time, right? Earlier he said he wasn't Black enough. Now he's saying the only people that have showed up for him is the white side, but he's not part of the Black community. Who here thinks in their heart of hearts that this is his first time dealing with this shit? Let me tell you something. He's saying this, right? As if, like he's like, it's so eye-opening. Like, this is his first time being, told that you're not one of us. You ain't like us. I am 100% certain. 100% certain. My man carries himself like a full white boy. You're close to your white side. You got your white friends. Those are my guys. We got each other. We got each other's back. Don't think because he's mixed, that there's any sort of like solidarity with Nolan based on that, at least. I would go as far as to say this kid comes across to me. He's a token. That's number one. He gets bullied by these kids. That's number two. And he's constantly seeking their approval and validation. The same thing probably applied to Nolan. These kids just wanted to fit in with the greater white population of that town. And hey, maybe his white side of the family has had his back. They're the only ones that ever showed up for him. I don't know who hasn't showed up for him or whatever. But I'm sure that black people has been telling him his whole life, you're not like us. Yeah, I thought the same thing, Indigo. He got a trucker accent, actually. Let's keep going.
That, you see everything happen. Nolan was your friend. From all the young men I talked to, it seemed like Nolan was the life of the party. Everybody loved Nolan. He gets along with everybody. Everybody's cool. And everybody feels like Nolan made them feel like everybody's his best friend, right? I mean, everybody felt connected to Nolan. Were you shocked that it turned like this? I mean, where this community was tight-knit, Nolan's friend group was tight. He ends up losing his life in an unfortunate situation, which nobody knows exactly what happened.
Of course they know what happened. This kid left because he got in a fight with the guys he had claiming as his friends. He got mad. Now, he probably had young brothers as friends too, but listen, I'm not saying that Nolan didn't have black, saying that a lot of these kids are seeking the approval of white boys because they're the dominant, group to belong to. The boats and this and that. Well, he said his uncle got a boat. Well, his uncle's probably a white guy. I told y'all niggas the other day, ain't niggas with boats. Niggas tend to not have boats. I'm sorry. I ain't saying no nigga got a boat. I'm saying niggas tend to not have boats. If you got 10 niggas in a room, maybe one has a boat. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm saying seeking validation from these kids. Because the white boys are the cool kids of the town. Trust me.
Did it shock you that it turned into some racial thing?
Yes, racial, I do agree. Now, it going famous or going viral, that part didn't shock me. Thinking about it and being honest, like, that's not a surprise because everybody didn't love Nolan. Especially around here, everybody loved Nolan. So for people to repost that, they know Nolan. I mean, they know he did not have one hateful thing in his heart. And racism, no. That was a shock. That was a complete shock.
Wait, hold on. You talking like Nolan is on trial. It's a complete shock. Racism. Oh my God. You just said I wasn't black enough. And my white side, what happened? I don't see color. How about, well, this side of my family was on some bullshit and that side of my family. No, you described your sides of the family as a white side and a black side. That was your description, homeboy. I got a black side of the family and a white side of the family. Sounds to me, homie, that you can see color. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't fuck with them niggas over there. I fuck with my white side. Not your mother's side, not your daddy's side, not your grandmother's side, your maternal or your paternal. No, your white side and your black side. Your words. You divided your family by race. That's what you did. See, this would be the cross-examination right here. You did that, the white side and the black side. Right? You did that. Nobody else did that. You did that. You did that. Your words. So you do see color. So let's not play those games. So now, oh, racism. Oh my God, I was shocked. There's a racial element. Sometimes people don't hear themselves talking.
From his mom and from his stepdad. Like, that's a shock. That's an utter shock, because it's like, first off, I don't know how to word this. Nolan wasn't fully black. Nolan's mixed.
Whoop.
Nolan has a little bit of Asian in him.
Uh-oh.
You don't hear that, though.
What did I say? Let's keep going.
You don't. So to turn it into...
But y'all don't see color. He's not black. He's partly Asian. His color's invisible.
It's like somebody's harping down on Nolan because of the color of his skin. You don't know us. You don't know our community. It's crazy that people are just running with a lie. And it's so easy for people to believe it from the outside, looking into Mississippi's history.
They spending a long time,
but it's
on
like
this racial shit. Hold on.
You're looking at history. Let's go to each state's history. I bet they're not the learn.
What's the craziest lie that you've seen floating around there about this situation? I know there's a lot of mysterious things, but like, what to you, what's the craziest thing that you've heard somebody say about this?
Yeah, these are some whack ass questions. But all right, we ain't gonna be here much longer. We about to shut this shit down, y'all. I know we having fun and shit, but let's keep going.
That my buddy in the photo was his lover. That was wild. That's been the utmost craziest, because it's like, what? Like, where'd you get that from?
Yeah.
I mean, also the lies of just how racist Mississippi is, or how racist the coast is, and Ocean Springs, and yeah.
Hold on. My man didn't just answer what's the craziest lie with how racist Mississippi is. I know he didn't just say one of the craziest lies is how racist Mississippi is. Nah, he ain't say that. Bro, fuck your case. Fuck you being there or not. Fuck your I love yous. Fuck all that shit. Fuck all that shit. Nigga, you just said on TV or an interview on a microphone and a camera that one of the biggest lies to come out of this case, is how racist Mississippi was, is, whatever. You talking about Django Unchained, Mississippi? Chattel slavery, Mississippi? Right, Mississippi burning Mississippi. One of the craziest lies is how racist Mississippi is. His people still alive. His people still alive from that shit today. Huh? Yeah, Mississippi burning Mississippi. There's people still alive from the shit. I don't know. I'm ready to turn this dude off in a minute. But let's.
No, you don't know this, man. Like, you have no idea. And what I thought was crazy lie from the beginning was he's the only black person on the boat. He's the only black person on the island. No, not at all. Like,
So who else was it? Because it's damn sure ain't you. And who was it? Your white side, your black side. They call him a wetback. So what side? I'm confused. You got three sides, homie? He said they call me a white boy, they call me a wetback. I ain't hear him say they call him a nigga. Cause see, if he said that,
not once. Like, where'd you get this background information from?
How many people are on that island from your vantage point?
On the 4th of July?
Yeah.
Thousands? 13 miles? Like, I mean, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of boats that are carrying minimum 4 to 8, 9 people. Like, I'm talking like on the lower end, and we're talking about smaller vessels here.
and nobody saw this nigga with this mysterious bitch. And the bitch said he wasn't with me. Hey, you know what? That's who I want to talk to. Where's the video? You know what? We're going to play some more of this. And if I could find a video of this chick talking tonight, if I could find a video of this chick talking, that's who I ain't hear speak yet. Here's with a girl. What's the girl's name, nigga? Don't nobody know the bitch name? We gonna blow this shit wide open. Tonight. We're gonna blow this shit wide open tonight. Let me play some more of this video. I'm gonna be searching right now.
Man, if I had to take a rough estimate in my area of the island that I was in, 400, 500 people easy. If I'm taking an actual estimate, about 400 to 500 people easy. In our group, in the group of, I would say, young adults that were in the group of Nolan Wells, 100, 150, 200 people.
So the idea that Nolan went out with 4 white boys and they took him to a deserted island and he was allegedly last seen with a girl and they just abandoned him. What do you say to that?
No. From the time they left, including myself, and also when I left the island, I could have named 50 people I really trust behind the helm of a boat that Nolan knew, that he could go talk to. Even if he was left, there was tons and tons of people out there. There was 10 boats that camped out at Horn Island. I know a boat that didn't leave Horn Island until 8 o'clock that night. Nobody would have ever seen, nobody would have ever left somebody on Horn Island. That's a place of everybody loves to go and hang out. That's their peace. Nobody wants to see anybody out there, especially in the boating community. And I can speak on that, like, genuinely. I grew up in it. That's absurd. It's absurd.
So can you help me understand the fight a little better? because I interviewed Warren, who's your friend, and he had made mention that his brother was involved in the fight. So can you explain who actually started fighting, and were you fighting his brother or were you fighting somebody else? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, and I can see now, especially, it's all been blown out of proportion. But so originally, I'll go back a couple steps. Original, me and my girlfriend, I wouldn't even call it an argument. She was upset that I lost the lid to her koozie. I dropped it in the water. Generally speaking, that's how it started. And
I don't want to hear this nigga no more. Let's go to this other video. We got one more, man. The girl is saying that motherfucker ain't leave with me. The motherfucker ain't leave with me. Hold on. Let's get this lying motherfucker out here. Out of here. Let's get him out of here. Let's go right here.
So there's some new information coming out when it pertains to what happened to Nolan Wells when he got on that island. We're actually guide our nation of life, and I wanted to point this out to you guys. It says the family has decided not to use the Mississippi Coastal Convention Center for Nolan Wells. We'll call it memorial, let's say. It's being reported that they're working through the logistics, such as security.
Let's get through this. Let's get to the point.
Actually, can we not please not do that? Let's get into what happened at this island. Okay, we're actually going to hear and get some more information about the female Nolan allegedly stayed behind to holler at and find out what happened there. All right. So the girl's name is Katie. And what happened with Katie? We've got this article here that's a little bit about some of what's being reported happened while Nolan was on the island. So the mystery deepens when looking at a conflicting accounts given by people who were last seen with Nolan. His friends claim they returned to the mainland without him because they believed he caught a ride with someone else. Meanwhile, a girl named Katie, who Nolan was seen talk to on the island, assumed left with his original group. Again, this is something that I mentioned. It's like maybe everybody just left and didn't realize Nolan was there by himself. That's possible as well. This devastating communication breakdown left Nolan entirely alone on the dangerous barrier island, allegedly. Public outrage quickly sparked after fingers were immediately pointed at Wells' friends. Internet sleuths began whispering about the group's dynamics, with one commenting, "Sounds fishy to me. 3-1? That's all I'm going to say." Another worried observer chimed in online, writing, "Seen this story way too many times. Investigate all three boys and the girl. Something is off." A third one added, "I see conflict of interest here." So again, we have more information from the people surrounding this situation, and this is going to be Katie's sister and family that's going to speak out here. As speculation intensified, Katie's family stepped forward to share what really happened before the parties parted ways. Her sister, Gracie McCormick, used social media to clear up the confusion. According to Gracie, Katie had just met Nolan that day and assumed that he was getting on the boat that he came out in. Gracie noted that her sister made it home safely on a completely different boat with her family. Interesting. She says Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Gracie explains. The family has since cooperated fully with local law enforcement and provided all the answers that they could. Childhood friends also came to the defense of the McCormick family to push back against the harsh internet rumors. Another supporter posted that they stood behind Katie, urging people not to judge without knowing the family. I agree. Nolan's devastated mother shared later that a heartbreaking post confirming the loss of her sweet son. She described him as special soul who was just and always trying to uplift others, asking for pride.
So let me get this straight, right? Let me get this straight. Hold on. We're going to end this on this note. Right? 4th of July. 4th of July. Thousands of people on this island, right? Right? Thousands of people. That's what the kid said. Thousands of people. 4th of July, there was thousands of people on this island. You tell your boys, yo, I'm going to slide off with Shorty. You slide off with Shorty. And Shorty say, yo, I'm going to ride with my people. And then you look back and you notice your people is gone already. Mind you, they shit was sinking, right? I don't know where the fuck they went, but this is what they saying, right? I just want to get this narrative clear. This is a narrative we're going to shut down on, right? So you turn around, your people is gone because they thought you was riding with Shorty. So now you stuck on a deserted island on some Gilligan shit, right? So you just die on this deserted island, right? That thousands of people was on. None of these thousands of people, because you know we stick together, we gonna have our back. So you couldn't get off the island with none of these thousands of people. You ain't know no other people but your friends. But you know, we in this together, you know, whatever they fucking little town name. We all together, we all know each other, we stick together, we tight knit. You couldn't get off the island. Hell no, boy, you can't get on my boat. Thousands of people. Left the island, left you there. Nah, yo. Nah, it's not. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. That story don't make sense. Yo, if this was an island that nobody was on but you and your friends, and you missed them leaving, okay, they left you deserted. And then we be talking about did they do the shit intentionally or unintentionally? None of these friendly, don't see color people, thousands of them, right? It's their narrative, not mine. Would let him ride out with them. Mind you, you got this kid's keys and his car and his phone. You should think something is wrong. You should be searching for him that night, not when the police are searching for him after he's been missing and then he turned up dead. That's when you decide to look for him. We went out, decided to look for him. You ain't go on your own search. You were searching once the police was searching. But I'm supposed to believe that homie went with Shorty, and when he couldn't get a ride with her, he missed his boat ride with his friends. That's what she said. I assume he went back to his people and rode out of here. That he didn't find them, and he was just stuck on a deserted island that thousands of people was previously on. Thousands. They should have found, if that's the case, they should have found this motherfucker shivering on the beach. How he end up dead? Oh, he got left on a deserted island. Did the lions, tigers, and bears get him? It ain't gonna work for me. Anyway, we gonna get back to this. We've been here almost 3 hours. I'm gonna let y'all rock. I know it's late on the East Coast. Good looking for the 10 people that's still here. We gonna shut it down. This is gonna get even more crazy. But something don't smell right here. This is definitely a homicide. Either it's a murder or a manslaughter. We're going to find out. At any rate, we're going to do it again. Eloquently Petty. It's your boy, Marcus. I'm out of here. Y'all do y'all motherfucking thing, man. Peace.